Bobcat fans, it's time once again for another Bobcat Coach's Corner. We've got head coach Jimmy Wilson from the golf program here with us. Thanks again for taking some time, Coach. We appreciate it.
My pleasure, Al.
Okay, it's been a couple of weeks now, so let's take a couple of steps back and see how the golf program's been doing. 2 weeks ago, the AFLAC tournament out in Columbus, it's one that you guys play every year. You finished fifth there. How did you feel the team performed as a whole?
We finished fifth, but we're 3 shots out of first. So the fifth place finish is a little bit misleading. I feel good about the young guys coming on. We didn't take Billy on that trip. We gave him the week off so I could take another young player with us. The young guys continue to get better. And, come spring, if we can get Billy and Joe playing at the same time and, get some young guys in there to help us out, we'll be good to go. Okay,
so we fast forward another week. You head to another largely Division I tournament again to try and play that higher level of competition to see, if you guys can perform at that level. The Mizuno tournament is out in Savannah. It's hosted by Georgia Southern. It was you guys, a bunch of D1 schools, and Armstrong. Finished sixth there and had a rough first round, but really came on strong in the last two to kind of cover over that a little bit and took sixth. Tell me a little bit about that tournament, Coach.
Well, you were being polite when you said a rough first round. It was horrific. But again, the young guys, and I told Gavin, Harper, and Garrett when we got back Tuesday night that they grew up a lot down there. Patrick shot 78 the first round. Gavin made a 9 on his last hole to shoot 81 the first round. But both of them bounced right back, teed it up immediately when they finished their first 18, teed up on the second 18. Gavin shot 70 and Patrick shot 72. Those two guys are going to be good for us. They're proving themselves. They're young. And when I say young, they're young as far as collegiate experience. Patrick's played all of 5 college tournaments, and Gavin's played 4. Joe and Billy together played a combined 85 to 90 tournaments, so big difference in experience there. Again, the first round, I wish I could explain it. I would have tried to fix it, but it just sort of happened. But again, I got to give you guys credit for bouncing back in the second round. We had the second lowest round during the second round, 283, 5 under par, and then the last day we shot 284, which was the low round by 4 shots in the tournament. So, yeah, was I pleased with our finish? Wish we could have done better, but from where we started after the first round, we were in last place. We finished up 6 out of 14. So, yeah, the guys fought back hard and played well.
Well, that's a good thing. Again, with all that youth that you have, there could be a tendency to sort of pack it in, and you don't see that with your squad. And with all the different faces you have, too, you would think there might be a little bit of extra pressure on a kid to say, hey, I got to perform well in this tournament or else I'm not going to be able to go next week. And you don't see that from your young guys. They're really performing at a high level.
We see it from time to time, but we just have to make sure we reassure them that they're not being judged just on one round of golf. It's the body of work we're looking at. And, again, I'm trying to figure out who I want to have in my lineup come the first week in May when we get to the NCAAs. We'll probably be shifting the lineup around in the spring again, and hopefully by the time our tournament rolls around in March, we'll have it pretty much set. But, all spots are still open as far as I'm concerned, and auditions are taking place as we speak.
Okay. Well, one of the spots that might be getting real close to solidified is Joe Young's. A 2-time All-American for you. He did have that elbow surgery, working on, I believe, his third tournament back or second, somewhere around there. And Joe did an absolutely great job. Finished 1 stroke out of the playoff in Division I tournament. Is Joe back? Is he 100%?
Getting close. Joe actually double bogeyed his last hole to lose by 1 shot. He had a 1-shot lead going in. And, he was disappointed, and rightfully so, but we're sitting there at lunch after we got through playing. I looked at him and I said, Joe, I know you're disappointed, but if 4 weeks ago before you played your first event, I told you that you were going to shoot this, this, and this in the 3 events, you'd probably be pretty happy. And he said, yeah, you're right. And, Joe's a competitor. He doesn't play for second place. And that's what's going to make him successful in life down the road, too.
Well, I know he missed some tournaments early because of that elbow surgery, and this is his senior year. So I'm sure there's probably a sense of urgency for the young man to perform his best now that it's his team to lead, huh?
Well, it was a hard decision for him to make to have the surgery in the first place because he wanted to try to fight through it in the fall and have it after the fall season ended and be ready for the spring. But after talking to the doctors, it was, let's go ahead and do it, and if everything goes well, you'll be back in the lineup by the 3rd tournament. And he did everything the doctors asked him to do. Paul and Eva and the crowd down at the athletic training office did a great job working with him, and he's as good as can be right now.
All right, well, let's take a step back, look at that fall season as a whole, as now it has come to completion for you. And then we look forward to as well into February when you'll pick things back up. So a big gap for you guys. How did you think the fall went as an overall schedule?
I was pleased. Again, as you and I discussed going into the fall, had a lot of unknowns.
Yeah.
Still got quite a few unknowns. Had some kids I wanted to get in the lineup that I didn't get a chance to do it. I was wanting to change my lineup totally after Destin before we went to Columbus, but a couple of the rookies had a rough final round at Destin. I wanted to get them right back on the horse again, as you say. So, get them back into the line of fire and see how they responded, and they responded well. But we got some kids that didn't play at all this fall that I feel confident can help us out in the spring.
Okay. Well, again, that top five is so crucial for you. To get a solidified one by the end of the season. It sounds like starting out in the spring season, you'll still be tinkering with that and seeing if you can find the perfect pieces to put in place.
We will be. I've got a fairly good idea of two of the spots anyway, but there are three spots that are still going to be fought for and fought for hard, I'm sure.
Okay, so some heated competition perhaps amongst the players of the Bobcats to get those final three spots over the break here until February when the season picks back up. This has been Jimmy Wilson, the head coach of the golf program here at Georgia College. Thanks again for your time, Coach, and tune back in February. We'll see these guys pick back up and defend that Peach Belt Championship.